got a little bit of a technical hiccup there. We do apologize. We'll get us on cam in a second. Welcome everybody to the VALOR versus Ritual matchup. My name is Nightfire with 2 E's. I am joined by my co-caster Martini. And we do apologize for the technical hiccups here on our opening, but we should be sorted out here shortly. We do appreciate everyone stopping by, patiently waiting for the start of this series. And Martini, there's been a lot of news that's come out over the last Friday weekend. VRML Con is on. How are you feeling today?
Honestly, great, right? I've been chatting with all the casters, trying to get like a whole caster's house going, so it'll be like a fun setup, and then we're gonna have a great time, right? And we're trying to see if we can do some IRL recreational stream. We're trying to do so many things on the caster side to have fun for the stream. And I'm just excited because, as I saw last year, an IRL event, the VR is fun. It's great to feel, but it's different.
Oh, yeah.
In person. You're talking to everybody, you're just having fun with everybody. You get to see the people that you talk to on Discord all the time and talk to in VR all the time in real life, right? And you get to do it in a really cool venue on top of that.
Yeah, we are headed to Phoenix, Arizona at the Mix Center for VRML Con, a standalone tournament from the regular season, but hey, it doesn't mean the regular season's not important. A good training ground to prep for the big VRML Con tournament, and these are top teams that we are tuning into this afternoon, Martini. We're ready to dive into our first map of the day. There's no waiting around. We're headed to Ship for map number 1, and I'm curious with your thoughts on this one, looking at matchup history between these two teams.
In the VRML Breachers community,
yeah.
We've seen them beat Acer at the beginning of the season. Granted, they've had a couple rough matches against Acer again, but they do put up the fight against Acer. Ritual kind of on the opposite end, right? They're kind of a newer team. Last time I checked, they were formed this season, but they've been on a tear. I mean, they've been on a winning streak. I think they have
6-0.
6-0.
Wow.
Which is right, 6-0. But I will say these are against different types of teams versus VALOR, which is lost, but against Acer, right? Most of their losses are to Acer, which is not a team to be worried about losing to because they're dominant right now. They're back in form. But that is another team as we kind of hop right into this VALOR versus the Ritual game set up right now on Ship.
Yep. I see some folks asking, anyone actually going to VRLCon? We have sold quite a handful of tickets already. I can guarantee you there are quite a few folks that are going to be attending VRMLCon, and there will be quite a few more as we have more announcements coming up about that con leading up to it. Next 4 months. It's going to be a lot of hype as the Incendiary comes out. Little headshot onto Jekyll and some damage done to Crimson to work VALOR down on the offense. Half health and a player dead.
Yeah, really bad TK coming out there from the Ritual players. VALOR trying to get set up here, but they are at a disadvantage with the 3v4. And on top of that, Shino being very, very low on that health. And I'm waiting to see something happen here. Anyways, traded shots here. Shino going in for the EMP fuse. Matt gets the pick off. Unfortunately, not enough. There's a defrag there. Jim gets the 1K, gets the 2K. And talk about a clutch there, as I thought it was about to fall apart for VALOR, but talk about tenacity till the very end. And it's only round 1.
I mean, what a heck of an opener. Let's look back at that replay. The double kill. Replay within a replay. As the STD and the low HP women's swing, and yeah, some interesting names on the Ritual side, but they're down 0-1, and VALOR off to a nice start with the pistol in hand. Let's see, SMG investment coming on the defensive side.
Yeah, definitely a lot stronger. I mean, we're even seeing a hero buy, which we know with the economy changes now, it's just not a common thing on round 2. So VALOR going all in, not all in, but very, very much a big gamble coming up from VALOR here on Gyms. Hopefully they got to get some picks there, otherwise that's going to be a huge buy. We're seeing Allreal come out from Crimson there. I think they probably shouldn't do any more than these 2 hero buys at this point because they don't want to waste and spend too much cash in hand here. Looks like we are trying to see what's going to happen here.
Yep. A standard drone coming out here for a little bit of an assessment of the space. And, those orals, Martini, definitely something we're seeing a lot more of this season. It's come into big play with the recent update, and I just love all the updates, all the changes we've seen leading into this season. What a swing there. Speaking of, a Viper picking up a double kill from Jekyll.
I almost thought it was the bot for a second because of the name. Anyways, this is Jim's Jekyll getting the pick off, coming down to just scare me here as they're now stuck in rotation by themselves. I'm not sure if Ice Beast had seen them as they barely slip out of view there. And at this point, they're going to be hiding in the corner here. And talk about a dominant win here. 5 players up coming out here from the VALOR players. I mean, we saw a huge amount of community votes coming here, so I'm not that. Never mind, Ice Beast shuts that down. I thought I was going to have a little talk, and they were going to hold it out. But anyways, VALOR, I mean, 50 votes to 12 on Ritual. It's looking a lot better for VALOR, and I'm pretty sure all the people are happy that they voted for them at this point.
Yeah, feeling good about the overall votes, and the scoreboard looking good for VALOR. Jekyll picking up 3 that last round alone with a double kill, and then that last on the push up, and Jim's coming in with 4 on the board, and just good coordination when we look at that replay. Over the shoulder shots coming in, the team working together to push through and finding the multi-kills. And when you stack heavy, you share HP, and it makes it harder to target acquisition and pin down one target or a next unless you're hitting headshots. So tough challenge for the likes of the Ritual defense, but VALOR, again, it's a ship to remind you, Martini. I know we haven't been. I feel like I haven't been a ship in a while. But for a 2-0 offense opener, I think that's a pretty strong start for VALOR.
Yeah, no, I'm not shocked that they're performing very well right now. I'm waiting to see what we can see from the Ritual players. I mean, I've seen them again on a tear, but I will say this is probably one of the first couple times we're seeing them play against a team like VALOR, right? I think the last time I checked, they did get a win against a team like Aspect, but VALOR definitely, performing very well this season. So this is definitely a big test of the Ritual players and what they can handle against them. But anyways, as we do get started into this round, again, the teams are getting ready to push in pretty soon here. I'm not seeing any aggressive defense except for the one roamer from Ritual, but we'll see if they get some value there eventually. As Ice Beast starting off with the first kill in that round.
Yeah, Patrick going down. Nice little pickup. The push going to not fruition. Scare Me kind of extended up here. Jekyll in a position to maybe catch some kills. TD catching half HP. As that wall does open up, and it's a very off-meta defensive position here as Jekyll pushes up to attack Mac in the Sterilon. They'll go down, and then I think maybe the first kill in a while. A double actually coming in. 3 go down on VALOR, and now it's Ritual looking like maybe they can put their first defensive point on the board.
Yeah, at this point, VALOR's got the other side, but here's the problem. EMP is on the other side, so this is not where a self-flash goes out there from Crimson. Not a great start to that attack as they try to retake EMP at this point. Minute and a half left in the round, so they do have some time here. But, I mean, they have 3 players still left on the Ritual side here, so we'll see if they can do anything here. Crimson trying to go for the swing, potentially. See if they can catch one out here, and Scare Me is waiting. Everyone's just holding down the positions, waiting for something to happen here, and they're playing it smart here. Nice. As Ice Beast does get the pick there, and now it's coming down to just the 2 players left.
Banana Man just on the other side. Mac in the deep corner. 2v2. HP bars favoring VALOR. Ice Beast sees Banana tucked in, and Banana swings out to go down to the Marui at close quarters. It's a lucky exchange there. Maybe not so lucky. Ice Beast with a nice headshot. Mac now going to push up. Marui in hand as well. Double health syringe. No, they're going to swap it for an incendiary. That may help them push up, but oh no, it also puts their hands off their gun, and a nice kill from Crimson down the long angle. The Oral clutching up the round, and 3-0 for VALOR.
Again, I gotta really chalk it up to them. I mean, they have so much tenacity being able to fight till the very end here, right? We've seen VALOR, I think the first time in the last couple of rounds where they weren't dominating so well. They only had 2 players up, right? And there was a disadvantage against the 3 players on Ritual, but they know how to engage, you know how to like really draw out and bait out the defending side, see where they're at, and then go in for the kill there. And I gotta say, that was a good round for them there. I thought it was gonna fall apart there. It wasn't working out for them, but they know how to fight back. And it was a great rotation when they went on the other side, got the plant down, probably threw out the Ritual player. And I mean, that's a 1v2. How do you beat that at this point, especially against the VALOR players? Yeah,
it is just a great retake overall. Way to stay focused. Another good example of clutching up when it matters most, right? Down into the 2v3 and coming out on top with good teamwork and coordination. And we'll see if that is what VALOR are going to stick to throughout this series. A 3-0 offensive opener is definitely very good, but we're seeing some pretty standard defensive tactics coming in from Ritual here in round 4. A little bit more conservative with those static emitters down on the ground, and no one really extended out for roaming.
Yeah, I mean, so much chip damage already coming out here on Crimson, and that is a rough frag. I'm not sure if that was a accidental TK, but so much chip damage already on the VALOR side. So it's going to be a rough start again to their attack, but we'll have to see how this does develop as it looks a little bit more even now. Both sides having Bezos in hand and finally being able to get some cross shots here. We'll see if we can finally see this breach develop and get them a good standing on the A side here, but I don't know. It's kind of at a standstill for now.
Yeah, they're going to need to foam that outside A wall, pop that and the side wall, try and open up both angles to get rid of some of these defensive holds on A site. Otherwise, it's going to be a very tough challenge pushing in. As we do see Crimson getting rid of one of the static emitters. Going to have to swing around and get rid of the second, or just barrel forward right into the defensive Banana Man. Scare Me holding over the top. A nice pickup from Patrick as they swing. They'll go down on the close corner, and now we trade back and forth as Shino finds themselves in a 1v1 against Scare Me on the long angle. The EMP comes out. Scare Me swings and finds the kill. The first round of Ritual.
That was tough. I mean, I know Shino didn't know where they were. They're just saying, hey, I might as well just go for it, go for the plan, and maybe I can draw out Scare Me a little bit sooner. But they weren't expecting that swing to happen so soon. And that's going to be the first point finally, come out to the Ritual players. And that's what I'm saying. Like, they've been on the tear. They have the chops, I think, to potentially make something of this matchup. But again, this is VALOR, right? It's different when your team is good and they've been on a tear and they've been knocking a lot of these players up and down the ladder. But it's different. I would say it's so different when you get to the top. You're finally fighting amongst the top 8.
Totally.
Because those players, they've been sharpening their skills against each other for seasons at this point, right? Or picking up new players out of new blood. But they've also had a lot of good experience at that point. And that's VALOR, right? It's VALOR students really been around for a couple seasons. They played in playoffs several times over at this point. They have kind of that pedigree, and I'm wondering to see, can Ritual get the same pedigree potentially? Can they perform well enough this season, this game, to stay amongst the top 8 here?
Yeah, I think VALOR sitting at 3 with 2 losses shows that they've had some tough opponents this season. All your opponents' MMR gets factored into how much you gain or lose. And Ritual likely, as a new team, just finding some good successes early. And to your point, yeah, they definitely are getting tested. The first point's on the board, though. Their foot's in the door, and now it's going to be a little bit of a challenge. Another basically full buy round for both squads as we get into round 5.
Yeah, good start for both sides, but this is probably one of the more even rounds we've seen. Both sides, except I think Shino. Is that trip line knocked him down? That is going to be a hard stop to their attack here. As never mind, Crimson goes in for the swing. It looks like they're going all in. They got the 1K, 2K there in the air. Now evening up the trades here, and Jim's getting that pickup, and finally looks like B side has been captured at this point. Ice Beast getting knocked out. Now coming down to this 2v2, but they do have sight, and Matt goes in for the wall bangs, almost knocking out the planter there, and that could have gone so much worse.
Full HP on Ritual, though. Shino at half. No health syringe in sight, and they're getting hit from a new angle as Jims tucks in tight. 6 and 2. Swings for Matt. Can't find it. Shino has to pick the double up, and they cannot. Ritual hold things down. And that's their second point on the board.
Yeah, I mean, tough for them, but great for the Ritual players. Again, showcasing once they got the assault rifles in hand, they can kind of go toe-to-toe with VALOR here. For a split second, it looked like VALOR was going to be able to pick this one up and win out the round, especially with that EMP plant and holding the site so well. But, I mean, 2v2, the health difference, because, I mean, that chip damage from the wall was a great start for them to retake that site. So, definitely a great start there. But I got to say, regardless of how this round goes, even if it ends up going in the way of Ritual, I think for VALOR 3-3 on the attacking side, you're not bad. You're in pretty solid shape going through that second half here, right? You're still going to be on defense yourself and, with a slight advantage to the attacking team here. I do think with the rework now, Ship I do think is a little bit more even in terms of attacking versus offense, not like Skyscraper, right? But I do think there's always kind of, except for like Hideout, there's always kind of an inherent advantage on the defensive side because you're just holding down. You have control of the map immediately, right? It's really up to the attacking team to kind of own each zone and kind of cause these kind of reactions to be able to come in and take sites. But anyways, I always thinking about that. I'm like,
I agree.
Yeah. Getting
into round 6. Only Well, this is the last round of the half before we swap sides, reset economy, and VALOR get their chance at defense. Look at this. A little bit of a low economy push coming in. And they stack heavily towards the A side. They're moving in fast, trying to overwhelm Ritual. As the smoke comes down, a defensive smoke no less. The Incendiary on the backline doing big damage. Trip Mine catches Gems in the chaos, and Jekyll able to find the kill. Crimson scoops up one. Good suppression coming in from Jekyll over the top with a nice flash from Shino on the corner. Shino's going to go for EMP plant, and there's 3 defenders stacked here on the outside of A.
I mean, talk about a great hold. This retake is going to be difficult. Jekyll gets a knockoff on Banana Man. Now it's not just TD. They get knocked down. Jekyll gets the 1-2-3K in the end there. And, I mean, talk about aggressive push coming out from the VALOR players. I will say, if I'm going to be nitpicky, though, I don't know if you noticed, their EMP planter was not with that push. They were on the other side of the map. And dare I say, if this had been a different team, this might have gone a little bit differently. And they wasted a lot of valuable time to get that EMP down. I think it took about 10-15 seconds, which that's a third, you know, of the EMP diffuse time there. And that's my only nitpicky thing. But otherwise, beautiful push from VALOR.
See a question from Zeus in chat. What happens at VRMLCon? We have 5 tournaments getting played out over the course of 3 full days of event live on stage at the Arizona State University Media Experience and Immersive Center, the Mix Center. It's a really cool space where we've rented out a stage and some open space for play space. Still workshopping everything at the venue and exactly what's going to be where, but you can be assured that you'll be playing in a beautiful theater with a huge screen behind you if you qualify in the online qualifiers. There's a separate tournament that's being held that you can enter into if you buy a ticket to VRMLCon, and all of your teammates do as well. And you can compete for 5,000 cash prizing for the Breachers tournament, but the ticket gets you entered into all 5 tournaments that are happening at VRMLCon. So you could win up to $20,000 if you are a dominant team across the VR esports space.
For sure, here Banana Man starting off here, and TD getting the pick off the refrag, unfortunately, as they get a second pick themselves here. Ritual off to a great start here. 4v2, I mean, 1 health in hand for TD there, so it's not too bad, but still, 1 health is not much to be working with, as Crimson and Gems now are forced to hold down 2 separate sites, not knowing how they're going to be approaching here. As Gems gets stuck in the Incendiary, and that is an unfortunate turn of events here, as Crimson now forced to take this 1v4 plant situation, a retake situation. And at this point, I'm kind of, wondering, do they go for the save? It's only a Spectral, just say, send it.
I see someone asking how much is a ticket. $75 for all 3 days of event. So basically paying a little under $30 a day. I mean, actually, almost $25 a day. Yeah, really good deal if you're going to an event. But, yeah. And like we said, enters you into all 5 tournaments. So just got to make a team.
I mean, on top of that, you'll have all the casters there. I'm like 90%
yeah, I know.
sure all of the casters are going to be there. So if you want to meet us in person, that is the time to do it. If you want to meet these other players in person, that is the time to do it, right?
Yeah, there'll be more details on the specifics of the open qualifier, the tournament, who's playing on stage, where and when and how, as we get closer to the event. But just do know that there is a nice prize pool on the line for 4 of the 5 tournaments that are being held at the convention. Onward is more of a community meetup event, and if we could attach a prize pool to it, we would, but at the moment we don't. So again, you can find all of this, all the details about VRMLCon, just by heading over to vrmasterleague.com/VRMLCon. It'll have all of the info on the convention, the tournaments, and where you can join their respective discords. So we have Orion Drift, Breachers, Veil, Pavlov's Shack, and Onward, all running tournaments that will culminate with on-stage performances for those that qualify. So it's a really cool opportunity for teams to kind of branch out into other games, but also to earn some cash and to meet your friends at what I think is going to be our most populated convention yet, despite what some people think. I'm pretty sure we're going to have a tremendous amount of folks attending VRMLCon this year.
Yeah, I mean, that Orion Drift announcement was crazy, right? With it being in early access and so much hype around it, definitely looking forward to seeing what that community does have and develop into. But Anyways, let's see what the Breachers community has going on here as the Valor players are now holding on these two sites here. Patrick already doing a good job getting that first pick here. And talk about night and day. The attackers here from Bridgeport are looking really in form as they get a 2K. And this is going to be a great way to come in onto site here with a 5v3 advantage right now. Never mind. 5v2. 5v2.
Nope.
Never mind. It's a 1. It's 1. Coming out just Jack on the back end there. I don't know what's going to happen here, Nightfire.
Yeah, it's kicked off with a nice RMP kill. Well, I can't even remember. I haven't seen that SMG used in such a long time. Starts off with a nice SMG kill, though, and that's good money into the bank for the likes of Ritual. And what a dominant attack. Maybe Ship leaning a little more on the offense in this series, Martini, because Ritual have just run away with 2 very fast rounds. And Valor, they got to be wondering what their plan is here. They've lost their... I mean, what was their investment? It had to have been sizable. You look at Shino and Ice Beast dollars left.
We saw some good SMGs coming out here. I forgot if I'd seen an assault rifle in hand. But, I mean, check out the cash in hand. We know they bought in a lot. For defending, this looks rough right now, right? We're seeing 5 players up on the Ritual side. They're almost showcasing Valor how to attack Ship at this point because they're performing a little bit better on their attacking half.
4-4. Tied up. A flawless win, as you see there on your screen, coming in for the Ritual offense. And, well, there's no ties in VRML anymore, or at least in Breachers, Martini. And so we could be headed to the infamous 6-6 final point tiebreaker decider at this pace. But for now, we've got a few more rounds ahead of us. And I don't know, Ritual are looking really good on offense.
Yeah, I'm excited to see we do get to an overtime. I actually had casted recently my own first overtime league match. It was a double OT, too. I got second OT on a second match. I was hoping for a third on the third, but, you know, I can only wish for so many different things, right, in one single cast. But the performance, again, is... I don't know if we're going to an OT at this point, right? I would need to see Valor step up and do something different on this defense. It's just not clicking right now against the Ritual players. I mean, when they do send a roamer, they kind of play a little bit more extended. They get picked off. I mean, they have some beautiful chip damage coming in, some beautiful utility knocking out these players early on. It's allowing them to basically have an advantage almost on their attack.
Here we go. Into round number 9. As the hatch opens up and the offense looks calm and collected, full of utility, full of droning, and honestly looking pretty coordinated. Their defensive half definitely not as impressive as their offensive half so far. We'll see how this round goes, Martini. I think this will be a telling one. And if Valor can claw their way back with some SMG, it's going to be a big comeback round for them.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're seeing a lot of investments coming out from the Ritual side here. Patrick knocking out Shino, but Jekyll comes in, gets the pick, but it's a refrag. Jim's getting a trade there at this point. Crimson going for the swing, gets the pick. Now coming down to just the Nanoman as Jim's looking for the swing, gets it. And now coming down to just Patrick on the other side to retake this 2v1 disadvantage right now. As EMP does get picked up. They go for the swing here. Crimson notices it. And talk about a clutch play there. In the end. Finally, Valor showcasing, hey, y'all can get a couple wins, but you're not going to run away with this.
Whew. Back and forth we go, Martini. This is a great Wednesday night matchup to be tuning into. I saw a lot of votes from folks in chat, for folks on the website, and obviously folks wanted to tune into this one. So here we are watching a solid back and forth in map 1 on Ship. And if you don't know, there's multiple games live right now. So we have this one and another broadcast that's live right now on this same VRML network channel, another Breachers matchup. If you do want to be dual screening, you can catch all of the action, but you definitely don't want to miss this map because so far, so good. And I think, like I said, we're headed to that 6-6 tiebreaker.
Yeah, 5-4. This is honestly as close as it gets besides just being, you know, an OT at this point here. And I'm excited to see that Valor finally able to get a pick off there. They still lost some players early on. They lost someone, I think Shino, a little bit earlier on in that round to a frag. Again, credit to the Ritual utility usage, gaining those early picks, allowing those attacks to be a lot easier for them when they finally get to site here. But unfortunately, that wasn't enough here. And I'm wondering, can they do the same thing here? Can Valor finally hold their ground here? And this is probably one of the more even eco rounds we've seen between the two teams. So we'll see. This is definitely going to be another catalyst round if they can finally hold their defense here, or if we're going to see potentially comeback from the Ritual.
Ping there on Crimson, good identification. Drone work's been pretty solid so far from both teams. Identifying those trip mines in the corner as well. Scaremy doing a good job of keeping his teammates alive as they push through towards B site. There's the value of the drone right there, truly. It probably saved at least 1 or 2 kills with the trip mines tucked into the corner. And great incendiary at half health. Crimson in the back corner opens up a great point of entry for this team. A nice nade that doesn't get the static emitter. Another great defensive nade, that zones just a touch, and we're definitely fighting over this B site right now.
Yeah, Jekyll already thrown up with a 2-3K. Crimson getting another, but Banana Man on the back end there getting that shot against now it's in a 1v3. And talk about a switch up here as these 2 players are gunning down Banana Man here. And again, I mean, VALOR, I was getting a little worried. I'm not going to lie. But this is what I'm talking about. They have the tenacity. They can be down a player early on. They can be down potentially 2 players early on, but they can still fight their way through and still make something of the round here.
I mean,
but it's gonna be hard for Ritual.
It goes to your earlier point of these top tier teams being a little bit different. It's definitely harder to uproot a squad that's had experience competing against teams that are, grinding at a high level, to say the least. And so, a couple of losses, a few round L's don't necessarily impact a team as hard. And we'll see if that's also the case with this new squad Ritual here. Coming in Season 4, sometimes you see when they do kind of get faced with adversity, the newer teams have a tough time bouncing back. So far, honestly, I'd say Ritual has done a good job bouncing back, tying it back up to 4-4, and now bringing us here to round 11. But they definitely got to settle in to these next few rounds. They want to take us to overtime.
Yeah, teams are definitely challenged in these kind of eco rounds, right? Or those thrifty rounds now, they call it with breachers. As it looks like, already the drone getting knocked down here. But VALOR off to a good start, right? They have so much economy on their side. We're not seeing quite the same thing, but still good. I mean, we're seeing all rails in hand for the players that can't get those Vezins here. So it's not a total loss for them, but this is match point at this point. So we got to see Ritual really hold down, maybe get those early picks again, and then make their attacks here. But again, even when they do that, VALOR is, again, very resilient to be able to hold back. Shino getting a shot off already on Mac there, and it's going to be a rough start already for the Ritual players.
Half health on the Patrick with a nice incendiary from Crimson on the corner, and now they pick up to catch TD on the top, trying to force them away from pushing in, but TD will reinforce Scaremy on the back line. And that static emitter is going to be a real thorn in the side of this push. Going to give away the advancement in here. And a nice pickup from Scaremy down the long angle. Crimson pushing down, Patrick from pushing forward. And there's the extension up from Jekyll. They've been confident so far today. Ice Beast counters and surprises. And now it's all up to Banana Man, the last alive in a 1v3. Otherwise, it's VALOR taking map 1.
Yeah, Banana Man going in for the breacher. Maybe to really throw off the defending players here, but I don't think they're moving because they know what's going on here. Crimson probably getting to see what's going on here. I think Ice Beast looks like they might be going in for the swing potentially pretty soon here, but still, I mean, they're going to take their time. They have a full minute left here to really draw out this round and really force Banana Man to do something. They go in for the bottom. I don't know why. Maybe to really switch it up, go for the rotate here, but Crimson knows what's going on here. They see what's going on here. They go for the staircase, and they knock out Banana Man down for the count.
There it is. Map 1 locked in for VALOR. The fan favorites delivering to the expectations of the community with at least a early Map 1 win. They still have another to go if they want to take the series martini, but here we are. We're into it. We're talking the con. I've got 2 banners and a shirt right now that are getting showcased for the con. I'll have 3 banners soon enough. But we're also obviously talking about these top teams and this great back and forth. 7-4 map 1 from Ship. Is this what you anticipated with the VALOR Ritual series today?
I mean, definitely, right? I expected it to be a lot closer, potentially, because I've seen Ritual on a tear. But as I mentioned earlier, Ritual was on a tear against, again, not teams like VALOR, right?
Right.
Finally seeing them get tested, and they are definitely being tested very, very well. Comes in very much looking in form here, even when they're down a player early on in their rounds, still able to recover and make something of that round here. And again, I love seeing that in the top 8 teams, because I think they're beyond gun skill, beyond mechanics like that. I think one of the most crazy and noticeable skill sets that I've noticed amongst those top 8 is just being resilient, being able to fight through all these rounds, dealing with the pressure. I mean, when you're facing constantly against teams like Acer, right? You got to be able to come back and make something happen in that round because someone's going to get picked. You know, if you have a round where you don't get picked from Acer, that's a beautiful round, but it's not gonna happen, right? So you got to learn to be able to deal with that because you will get upsets, and it's really a test to how your team can play in that kind of pressure.
See how long these squads wait in between maps. It might be pretty quick, Martini. And so while we do wait, a quick shout out to Triangle Factory, the developers of Breachers, fantastic devs that are supporting us in Season 4 and VRML Con. Not possible that we'd be able to do that convention tournament without their support. So a big shout out to Triangle Factory. They are bought in to making sure that the esports community, the competitive community, is well supported by them, and we really do appreciate everything that they do provide for the VRML. I can't say enough about the TF team, and I know we share that opinion universally within the production squad, so hats off to them, and we're ready to go into our second map. It was quick, Martini, I called it, but right into Arctic for map number 2.
So much love for this map. I keep talking about it, right? That I feel like a lot of these games now, when I see the maps come up, it tends to be newer ones, and it tends to be the rework for Ship, tends to be the rework for Arctic. Dam has been coming up consistently. Maul, I think teams are still figuring it out, but I'm expecting that. Always in the first season of any map release, it's not as well played. Usually it's the upcoming, a couple seasons where we see it get played a little bit more often. But I've been seeing those get played more often now than Hideout, Factory. Right. Skyscraper especially. So it's exciting to see these newer maps get picked up, and I love seeing that.
Here we go. Round number 1. We do a quick side swap on the scoreboard there to put Ritual on defense and Valor on the attack for map number 2. Already leading with 1 map, Martini. We could be done in 2 maps. For those that maybe are more familiar with Veil's rule system, we don't play the 3rd map if the team wins in 2.
Yeah, best of 3. It's my personal preference. I'd like that because if the team's winning in 2, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if you need a 3rd. But anyway, maybe I'm a little biased being on the Breachers side of things, right? I'm not on Veil. But anyways, looks like the start already coming out here. A lot of chip damage already hitting the Valor players, but not too much until the cover. Crim's getting a shot off on Patrick there, as that's gonna be a good start with them. Drone finally getting knocked down here. As this 5v4 push is getting set up here. I wonder if the trip mine is going to trip anyone. No, it's not, as they do knock that one out. Looks like so much utility coming out here, and I think this push is going to happen pretty soon.
Here comes the scanner plant. No incendiary to come out and zone off the EMP, so it should go down relatively uncontested. Mac finally pushes up, and a little struggle getting the EMP down has caused a bit of an issue here. TD finds 2, a 1-2 punch headshot, as they tuck in for a 2v3.
Now, I mean, talk about unlucky and bad swing there is TD knocking out not 1 but 2 players on the Valor side here. It looks like Shino coming in for the side here, trying to see if they can get a pick. I wonder if they can see them. No, they don't. They get shot down, and now comes down to the gyms and is 1v2 here. And talk about a plant gone wrong at this point, as they are forcing them to do something here. I think Jim's going in for the tap pretty soon here. They're smart about it, goes for the swing, but it scares me. Sees that, unfortunately. And it was building to be such a beautiful round. Such a beautiful round. They even went for the bait. They did everything what I would have said is what you should have done. They went for a utility bait, they did a tap, came back, went for the plant, but unfortunately they weren't ready for someone to come up there, and I think the players have been thrown off because they didn't throw utility, which I'm curious to see, what was in the minds of the Ritual players. Was that intentional? Did they just not throw utility when they had heard that initial bait? I don't know. And that's what I say, like, this is fun now, right? With stuff like the incendiary, you're going to see a lot of mind games. In Breachers, do you go for the incendiary now? Do you go for a bait on the attacking side? And it's going to be this kind of funny dance to see who wins it out here. But, I mean, it doesn't matter. Ritual does win out round 1.
They do indeed. The pistol opener, so not too deterministic of how this series will go, but an interesting investment of double drone coming in from Chino here in this round, and that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, talk about eco round from the Valor players, which, makes sense, but we're seeing a little bit of risky buys coming out from the Ritual players. Not as risky, though, as we'd seen in map 1 on their second round follow-up, so It looks like they're playing a little more conservative this time around because they realize, hey, Valor's playing pretty well too.
Patrick tucked in and going to be a forward element to this Ritual defense. Likely waiting to spring their trap out this vent and catch a couple of kills. If they don't, it's an SMG into the hands of their opponent that is otherwise very undergeared. So we'll have to see how they, or when they, spring their trap there. The rest of VALOR moves on.
Yeah, I see some aggressive defense, though, coming out from the Ritual players. 2 players off-site here, playing a little bit more of that roaming role there with Patrick and Mac. We'll see if they can get some value here, but if they don't play their cards right, VALOR might be able to get a quick push in and actually secure site. There's only 3 players on site. They have 5 players pushing in here. So we'll see if that does come to fruition. As it looks like, never mind, the roamers are aware, trying to go in for the peek here. Mac does get a lot of damage. Crimson starting off that pick there as they go in for potential swing on the back there.
Tucked in with a low bit of HP and stalling out this defense from pushing forward. Patrick finds themselves a kill with an incendiary. Scare Me picks up another one on site. And now Jim's, Ice Beast, and Shino plant the EMP for a 3v3.
Patrick coming out here for the side, trying to get a potential long-range pick with that RCP in hand. Do they see Ice Beast in the corner? No, they do. They got the pick. They got the 2K. Now coming down to Shinos. They go for the swing, and Banana Man shuts down that swing. And Ritual looking a lot more at home here on Arctic as they're, 2 rounds in a pocket already.
Yeah, much cleaner defense in comparison to Ship as well. The coordination very much on point. As we go back and look at that replay, you can see both players timing their swing onto that hallway to make sure that they would pinch it. And as soon as Patrick starts the push, they're both there to collapse. And I think they would have won that round regardless with that coordination. So a solid job from Ritual defense. And they're up an early 2-0. But I think we've seen them with a 2-0 lead before. And then VALOR ended up clawing that back. So can't get too confident up against this VALOR squad.
Yeah, VALOR's definitely a down but not out sort of team, right? And that's what we talk about when we talk about tenacity, resiliency from these top-tier teams here. Again, VALOR looking a lot better now, finally getting some good economy in hand. We're seeing 4 buys coming out here, potentially 5 with Shino there eventually against Ritual, which I'm kind of shocked because Ritual only has 3 buys. I'm wondering if maybe they're going eco because someone has an Omen already in hand or not. As I would have expected a full team buy from them. This might, if VALOR plays their cards right, this might be finally a round where they can switch up and get a win here.
Here we go into round number 3 of the first half of map 2. If you're just tuning in, you've missed what has been a pretty good back and forth. You've also missed some chatter about VRML Con, where we provided a little bit of information that you can find at vrmasterleague.com/VRMLCon on our really nice landing page.
Yeah, as that frag going in deep there, not really getting any chip damage, unfortunately, as the VALOR players are having a great utility use. There's a little bit of chip damage. Another fragment out there in response. Unfortunately, it does not catch anything on the receiving end there, and it looks like utility coming out early from Ritual. That might be a little bit too early, I think, as they haven't been able to do too much with it. So they did slow down this push as it's been about 45 seconds in the round here. But it looks like VALOR is ready to push pretty soon here as they do start up with the pick.
A big pick, a huge incendiary. Patrick has no choice but to push. They at least make something out of it. Find a kill. A trip mine catches 2. And just like that, VALOR are chipped down to only 2 left.
Talk about, I mean, this is what Arctic feels right now. Just a round gone wrong for the VALOR players. I'm not sure if it's just bad luck or beautiful, sightseeing here coming out from the Ritual players. As oh my goodness, they self-flash both players here. And this is what I'm talking about. It's just a rough round right now for the VALOR players. Gonna go into the swing, gets knocked out by TD, and talk about a 2K. I think it was 2 2Ks in this round right now from the Ritual players. Again, looking very, very, very comfortable for the Ritual players right now.
Wow. A big opener, to say the least, as TD catches more multi-kills to put their team up. And we can reflect on the scoreboard here, Martini, as we do see Scare Me, Banana Man putting some points on the board. And I do think actually my scoreboard's a little bit botched. So let's look at the in-game one, as we do see Patrick up to 6. TD up to 4. And the next highest killer is on VALOR with 3 kills. So the 2 kill leaders on the likes of Ritual right now, and Ritual very clearly in control. This should be another partial buy for VALOR, and they won't be able to go full until the last 2 rounds of this half.
Man, I mean, again, another, I got to keep saying another vital round for VALOR. They got to slow down his momentum. Otherwise, I can totally see this going maybe, you know, a 4-2, a 5-1. I don't want to say 6-0. Those are just so few and far between, right? But if it's the 6-0, I'm a little worried for VALOR, and we might be seeing a map 3 at that point, right? Regardless of how they perform on defense, it's kind of hard to come back from a big loss like that here. As Patrick already off to a 2K start there. Does get refragged in the end, but that is, again, a vital pick there. Icebeat's now getting a lot of chip damage. Wow. Matt gets a 2K. What is going on? As there's 2 2Ks again coming out from the Ritual players, and Jims on the other side has to essentially watch all of his teammates die in the span of 10-20 seconds here.
Yeah, that investment definitely didn't work out for the likes of VALOR.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's even worth Jims to try and carry this SMG through, but they did find a kill. So if Jims could find another, it would do a little economic damage to the likes of Ritual, but not enough to make an impact in these last 2 rounds. So definitely a tough choice to make at this point, but I think Gems is going to go in there and kind of look for a few more kills if they can find them.
I mean, the bodies are on the floor. They've hit the floor very, very hard here, as it's only going to be Jims now probably going in for a retake at this point. I mean, it's just an SMG. I can see them doing, they don't need it in the upcoming round. So I can see the team making the call. Honestly, just go for it. See how many picks you can get. And on top of the, remember, the SMG gets economy advantages here, right? If they get a pick with an SMG, it gives them double the amount of credits that they normally would get from just a normal pick here. Looks at Jims understanding the EMP is probably too hot here. Trying to see if they can draw out any of the Ritual players, but this is going to be a hot room to be pushing.
There it is. They'll go down to the double stack, and Ritual will take a nice 4-0, matching their points earned last map already. So definitely a better start, like we said, here on Arctic for this team than it was on Ship. But now come the full buy rounds from VALOR. And if anything, these next 2 rounds going to be, or maybe really just this round, a chance for VALOR to get back into this. I think if they lose here, maybe they'll get enough on consecutive loss bonus to buy fully into that final round again as well. But it is a important one here. If they do end up winning, it's not going to impact Ritual enough either. So the next 2 rounds are full buys on both sides, pretty much no matter what.
I mean, yeah, this economy is not looking great at all for VALOR. They're going to be on a disadvantage regardless of win or loss in the upcoming round here. But they want to get that 4-2. They want to get that 4-2 because, again, 5-1, potentially 6-0 into the upcoming round. They don't want to be facing down that kind of barrel as they're trying to defend against that themselves, right? So they want to get this 4-2 because it's just been too dominant. I'd almost be worried to see what Ritual can do on the attack here. Or maybe it's a side difference for both of these teams, right? I'm wondering if it's a map or it's a side here. But we'll have to see potentially in this upcoming half. But we're not quite there yet, as Jim does try to get this, start off here. Trying to potentially go in for the distraction. Jekko on the other side, though, does get the pick off on Patrick now. Looks like they're going for a very, very wide attack here for the VALOR players here. But Mac, again, playing that deep roamer on the back end. We'll definitely be worried about that. See if they get value later on there. As this attack is now getting developed here. Jekko gets the pick off. Banana Man gets the refrag there. Now leaving, never mind, Crimson and Mac on the back and finally getting that pick off. And that is going to be a big deal as Crimson comes in for the refrag, leaving only 3 and 1 here. As it's now going to be a side push pretty soon.
Confident VALOR team pushing in. Very clearly had plays in mind, using that utility to get them into position. And there's the Incinerator just over the top of Banana Man, who is going to push forward here with the Vezin in hand, and Shino will get confident, find the kill, and 3 will survive through to the next round for VALOR with a nice first point on the board. Necessary, like we said, Martini, and it might be all they need before we do get to that side swap. So now is another important round for Ritual this time. They really do want to take the 5-1. They want to have as little opportunity for this VALOR squad to get back into the action, because I think if they go 4-2, we could even see a potential 7-4 scoreline again for map 2.
Yeah, I mean, Valor, again, they've been down before. They've been able to fight against this Ritual side. I'm not sure if it's just the map or if it's just the side or Ritual just really knows what they're doing. Right now, they're locked in because, sometimes you do need that first map to kind of warm up and really settle in here. And we're definitely seeing that coming out from the Ritual players that are very, very settled in. 4-1, potentially a 5-1 if they do win out this round. It's going to be a big, big win for them. Potentially, putting them in really good space to get into that map 3 here. Because again, if Valor, if they do win this one out, it's a best of 3. We'll be going home a little bit early. Right, if Valor does win this upcoming round here. But that is still a couple more rounds here as Valor getting ready to utilize as much utility as possible. As they are coming in with a full buy, which would be great to see though. Both teams at their full force at this point. It's going to be a pretty big round.
Yeah, it certainly is. And it looks like a bit of a different defensive setup than we saw last time we were on these objectives. They do have Patrick pushed up aggressively, but then they also have Mac on a roam. And I think Mac's eventually going to try and work their way up behind this Valor squad. And that could pay dividends or fail miserably, in which case you're kind of throwing away your into a player disadvantage potentially. Let's go down onto Mac, who's slowly inching their way to the stairs here, while they'll crawl their way up to the back line of Valor, and it just depends on how slow Valor goes and if they're not watching their flank.
Yeah, look at Valor trying to toss around that breaching foam. Unfortunately, gets caught in the incendiary. Oh, and that's a beautiful frag rolling out there, knocking out Scare Me. And finally, I think we're going to see the first time this half here where Valor is going to be ahead in terms of player advantages. This is the time to push it and get the win. They get another pick here, now leaving just 2 players left, the 1 Deep Roamer and the 1 solo player. Never mind, as it comes down to just the Deep Roamer at this point. And talk about a round gone right finally for the Valor players, as now it's going to be Mac against the full force of the Valor side. They get the 1 pick, trying to go for the 2nd pick, doesn't get it, unfortunately, as it gets gunned down by 2 of the Valor players.
Really solid bit of coordination from Valor to work their way up through that defense methodically. And, whereas last round when they were in that objective space, they had stacked a little bit better. That time they spread, and a little bit too thin, in my opinion, ended up allowing that Valor squad to kind of pick them apart one at a time. And 2 points on the board on offense might be all that they need. We swap sides now. Valor defend. And briefly, while we have a bunch of folks tuning in, hanging out, and enjoying the action on this fine Wednesday night, another quick shout out to VRML Con. You can get all the information about the convention that we announced on Friday last week just by heading over to vrmasterleague.com/VRMLCon. With 5 tournaments getting played on stage across Friday through Sunday, there's over $20,000 to be earned. If you buy a ticket, you get entry into all 5 tournaments. And so a chance to win $20,000 if you have a powerhouse squad. But looking forward to it. We've been talking a bunch about it. It's in Arizona this year at the Media Immersive Experience Center at the Arizona State University, and it's going to be fantastic. There's a lot to look forward to. More details will be coming over the next few months, and you're going to want to keep your eyes peeled on the Breachers VRML Discord.
Yes, ISP starting off a great round. We're already knocking out one of the players. Looks like we did get a disconnect, so that is just going to be a bot, but still a player nonetheless here, as we're going to be seeing potentially Mac going in for the side here, trying to draw out Crimson and potentially get a pinch in here with Banana Man. Crimson has played this very, very well. They do get knocked out by Banana Man, unfortunately, and it's still going to even up that scoreline for this trade.
Yeah, really good drone work there. That ends up identifying that aggressive defensive position. And as the foam comes down, they'll crack open both walls at B site and get ready to work up for the EMP plant.
Looks like Jekyll playing very aggressive here, coming up here, trying to get some early picks. Unfortunately, does not. Pulls back here in the end as utility usage coming out here now from the defending Valor squad here. Ice Beat decides to go for the swing, does get knocked down here. That might have been too much of an ego peak, I think, in the end, as that was a very, very, very aggressive stance here. Jekyll again holding in his corner, gets the pick off. Gets
two?
And TD now getting that refrag. Now only 1 player. Gyms now have to take out Mac and TD here. And they do pick up TD. Now coming out just 1v1. Gets a little bit of chip damage here. Goes for the swing. Unfortunately, the shot's not landing here. And the Mac winning that one out here. And that was so close for Valor. I was almost expecting it, right? But 5-2 again, the Ritual squad's looking really, really much in form here. I'm almost expecting a map 3 at this point.
First time they've made their way past that 4-point mark, and ever closer, 2 points away from locking in a map 2 and taking us to 3, where we'll decide this series. Like you said, we could be done here if VALOR can gather themselves on this defensive half, but it's looking more and more like it could be headed to a map 3 decider for this series, Martini, and that would be great. What a fun one to tune into on a Wednesday.
I think at this point, I'm almost tempted to say if VALOR wins out this map, it's going to be in an overtime, right? We're already seeing it. Rituals out of 5-2. I can see them getting at least one more round in the pocket if things go wrong. Otherwise, I would be shocked if VALOR can win the next 5 rounds in a row. Not saying it's impossible, just unlikely. So I'm expecting that if they win it out, it's going to be an OT. Otherwise, I wouldn't be shocked if this comes down to the Ritual players winning out this round here, as they've been playing pretty well on this attack here. A lot better than I had thought, to be honest.
Made prepped by Patrick. Oh, and I think another disconnect coming in from them, unfortunately, as they were going to throw it. They'll go down, and the flank almost connects onto Mac. Only results in 1. And we're into a 3v4, favoring that of Ritual SMGs, and Mac with 1 HP does make that a 4v3.
I mean, this is, again, already a rough start for them. I will say Mac, though, very, very low health, so it's about 3.5 players, right, on the Ritual side here, but still a player, and nonetheless to help them out here. Look at the flash coming out here. Jim's having to hold back this attack here. Scare Me's try to go for the pick. Banana Man catches Jim's on the swing there, and that's going to be a vital pick as the players are getting picked apart here. Shino now stuck in the corner, getting knocked down by 2 here. And talk about beautiful pushes here from the Ritual side, 6 and 2. Someone in the chat said, "Holy glaze." I will say and call out what Bob says. Is it count as glaze if it's just factual? I mean, we're seeing a beautiful win right now, potential win by the Ritual players. Can you call it a glaze when they are winning?
Locked in and doing well. The Ritual squad is a round away from taking this map to 7-2, which would be a huge comeback from a 7-4 map 1 loss on ship. It definitely would be in line with what we've been seeing for their performance across the season, Martini. I mean, 6-0 is not easy to do, regardless of who you're going up against. Eventually, you go up against squads like VALOR, teams that are more tested at the high tier, and those teams are hard to beat. But Ritual has yet to face a loss this season, and right now they're kind of barreling towards what could be their 7th win of Season 4. If they can grab this one and a third and final map.
If they win this one, I wouldn't be shocked if we saw a next week like a Ritual Acer matchup, or one of those top ones at this point. Because you beat VALOR. I mean, what other teams are going to be fighting against at that point? Unless it's like IBNA potentially. But we'll have to see as the MMR system will decide its own thing here. Jim's getting a lot of damage. He throws in the Vezin, knowing that they're probably going to die here. Ice Beast finally going to pick off here. Gets a 2K in there. Goes in for the 3K. Can we get a 4K potentially here? As Banana Man now having to fight this one out here in the corner. As Arthur the Bot decides to swing in. We'll see if they get a pick here. Ice Beast gets 4K. Can they get a potential ace here? As no one on the team sees Arthur the Bot walking through the site. oh my goodness.
No, they didn't give it to Ice Beast. They had it easy. But they find the kill. Ice Beast with 0 HP. Or no, 2 HP, excuse me, $0. Comes out on top with a big multi-kill. We'll take another look at that replay that locks VALOR in. Ice Beast pushing up 1, 2, and the swing commit around the corner for 3. That's one way to keep your team alive, Martini, and push yourselves closer to that tiebreaker.
If I were Ice Beast, I would have been screaming. I would have been screaming like, "Give me the ace! Give me the! It's a bot! It's a bot! Like if it's gonna be the easiest ace ever, it's gonna be on a bot, man." So I would have been screaming, but I guess it's still a bot, so it's not like a fun, ace. That doesn't quite matter much in the end.
Diminishes the power of it all.
Right, you're right. But still a 4K nonetheless against live human players there. That's still going to be a very, very big deal for the VALOR player. Maybe giving them, potentially a boost here, right? We need to see them win the next 3, forces overtime, and I kind of wanted to happen now, right? I want to say I called it. I want to say I called it. But that's still 3 rounds between now and then, right?
Yeah, it's early. If you're a team like VALOR, you don't want to get ahead of yourselves. You don't want to let Ritual back in, because right now you have a little bit of momentum. You have a little bit of a rhythm going here on defense, and now an economy. So utility, health syringes, and actual guns that you want are in play. In comparison, Ritual are down to SMGs on some of their players. So it is definitely advantage VALOR right now in round 10, but that'll change as we get into these last couple of rounds of the half.
Oh, you know what's going to happen? I think it cast in one of Ritual's games before. They do this. They do like a little weird jump hatch play here. If played right, it works. But I always say this. 1 out of 10 jump hatches actually work. The other 9 always fail. And Ritual is one of the few teams I've seen to make a jump hatch work even at the competitive league level.
Great flash on a Jekyll. They barrel in, find multiple kills in a fast play onto A site. Now it's up to Jims, who finds one, can't transfer for the second, and in a blink, quite literally, of an eye, Ritual barrel into site, dominate through their way through the defense of VALOR, and I don't know what happened there. No static emitters, where's the trip mines? Where was the utility that came in from VALOR? Because it definitely didn't slow down Ritual from catching map 2.
You know, I think it's because most teams, right, when they put that sort of utility, it's on the same floor. It's going to be a little bit extended from the site here. But this Ritual attack works against that, right? They have someone in a jump hatch, which drops them into the middle of a site here. They had, surprisingly, no utility, though, on the side that they fight against. But that staircase doesn't get used as often as it used to, I think, on the older Arctic map. But talk about a great pinch, right? You have the middle of the site being attacked by 3 players, 2 players on the side coming in for that pinch. And unless you have 2 or 3 players that are 1 John Wick or 2, you stack the whole side with 5, which is uncommon of a push. That works. But that's one of those pushes I think that works once or twice. You can't really run it more than, or not even twice, I think once. Because you're going to be expecting it at that point, right? But that worked out very, very well for the Ritual players, because that was the last match point, right? It didn't matter at that point. If they got the win, who cares? It's game over. We're going to map 3.
We are going into a brief 10-minute timeout. So before we do, a quick shout out to everyone tuning in to jump over to vrmasterleague.com/VRMLCon and pick up your tickets for VRMLCon at Arizona State University at the Mix Center. I gotta get better on the full wording of that. It's a Media Immersive Experience Center over at ASU. It's going to be a really cool venue where we've rented out a beautiful theater where players are going to play on stage. I just looked at some mock-ups of what that stage is going to look like today in our convention meeting that we had, and it's awesome. I can't wait to hash out more details about the con and be able to announce them to you, but for now, just know that if you do buy a ticket, you get entered into 5 different tournaments that get played out over the course of the weekend. You have to qualify. You have to win the online qualifiers, but if you do, you'll get to play on stage at VRMLCon. $20,000 in cash across these tournaments to be earned, and a good time on top of all of it. You know, it's a good community meetup opportunity and a good time to play your favorite VR games. You've got Breachers, Pavlov's Shack, Onward, Veil, and of course Orion Drift entering into the space. A full day of Orion Drift on Sunday, which does mean there's probably going to be quite a few teams that are going to be able to play on stage, because we'll be able to do quite a few games across that full day. So it's going to be pretty cool. There's a lot to look forward to over the 25th to the 27th, July 25th to 27th when we're doing the convention. And you can get your tickets right now. All the information on vrmasterleague.com/VRMLCon. A shout out to all of our sponsors, the main developers, obviously. Another Axiom coming in and supporting VRML for VRMLCon, on top of obviously Triangle Factory, Axe Labs, Pavlov Devs, and Onward. We do appreciate all of the support we're getting from all of these developers to be able to make VRMLCon happen this year. It's going to be a tremendous amount of fun, a little different than last year, obviously, but a lot to look forward to. And so, again, that's vrmasterleague.com/VRMLCon. We're going to go to a brief break. When we come back, it'll be the map 3, the decider of the series, so don't go anywhere.
Prepare to
Only
start.
Baron left alive. Where is Baron? In the spawn. And somebody's
Go.
Spud in the bottom going absolutely crazy, getting the 2K.
Match point. Prepare to
Only
start.
Baron left alive. Where is Baron? In the spawn. And somebody's
Go.
Spud in the bottom going absolutely crazy, getting the 2K.
Match point.
Welcome back, everybody. We're diving in to map number 3 of this best of 3, the final map. It's Damn. A little bit of variety here, but nothing crazy. I suppose maybe one of the newest maps you could pick. But yeah, fun to see it here. Definitely a map that we've seen played plenty of times in regular season, and I'm curious to see how it gets played out this afternoon between VALOR and Ritual. We'll swap teams to put VALOR on the attack and Ritual on the defense. And if you're just tuning in, it's the final map of this best of 3. Both teams have won a map, VALOR on Ship and Ritual on Arctic. And at this point, Martini, I don't know what we're going to get for map 3.
I mean, we saw great performance coming out from VALOR. I think 7-4, right, in that first one, 7-3 in the previous one here. So it is neck and neck with a huge switch up on both sides. I didn't see the OT, unfortunately, in that previous round. But that showcases both of the teams have the chops. So really, it's going to come down to who's better at Damn. And right now, I don't know. I don't know which team is going to be better at Damn. I guess we'll be finding out pretty soon here.
No connection issue for VALOR, unfortunately. They might be down a player going into this round. Not ideal. But it is the pistol opener, so there's a little bit of wiggle room there. It doesn't really set off things too terribly.
Yes, VALOR getting ready here. Jim's trying to peek this corner here. Patrick getting long shots here. A lot of chip damage on ice speeds. Not quite the pick, as they did still get a lot of chip damage in the end anyways. But it looks like Scare Me themselves taking a lot of damage. And now it's a very slow start, I think, to a round on Damn. Usually I see a lot more action in this first minute. But very slow push coming out here from the VALOR side. Maybe to really draw out the round, because that bot Maxim is not going to be doing the best job here.
Ooh, Wound pushing up here. A substitute in for the VALOR squad. Going to swing on the Mac. He can't find the kill, but their teammate able to find a quick refrag. As Jackal does reconnect, the push will commence. Crimson barrels in for a second. Gets hurt by a touch of that incendiary damage and backs off, but we're into a 4v3 in VALOR's favor on our pistol round.
Yeah, very slow start to the round here, but still advantageous for the VALOR players. There are a player up here, not quite being too close, as that smoking in the background really prevents any you know, sight coming out there from the Ritual players here. Deep frag going in there, not much damage. And this attack finally getting started here. Banana Man knocking out Jim's. Ice Speed's getting the pick themselves. TD picking up themselves a pick too, but 1 and 13 health on the Ritual players is not going to be a great ending here. But they can make something happen here, but it's got to be perfectly played here. Simply gets a pick up, gets a 2K in the end there. And probably feeling very good on the VALOR side there, as they themselves got a 2K finally against the Ritual squad, who is, I think we've seen several times get so many.
Yeah, some big clutches at the back end of the round there. And obviously pretty low HP bars on those defenders. Just took a couple of bullets from Crimson to swing out, and they actually stacked 4 kills on the round. That was a near ace for Crimson as they picked up those final 2 kills on our first round of the half. So definitely a good way to start things off. They're feeling good. They're 4-0, and if anything, because they've stacked kills so heavily onto one player, they are going to have Crimson actually invest into a rifle. They're going to go for 2 rifles, which seems like a pretty big buy to me from the defense, but from the offense. But they're feeling good clearly on Damn here. Maybe this is their map pick. Either way, that's a pretty confident buy.
I hope whoever they give the Vezins to are fragging out, you know, the best they possibly can in this round here. Because again, 2 Vezin, two buys on the second round is probably one of the biggest hero buys we see nowadays. Because it just doesn't happen with those big economy changes, you know, in the last season.
There's 2 health syringes, there's 2 drones, there's utility. They spent a lot on this round on the attack.
That they did here as they come in, getting ready to get this push developed here, as it looks like Ritual waiting to see something happen. But a lot of damage coming here on the Wound there. One of the players with the Vezin in hand. This is what I'm saying. I hope they know what they're doing with that Vezin. You don't want to lose that Vezin so early on in this round. Goes in for the swing again. Gets only chip damage themselves. And I don't know what's going on right now with Woon. I'm not sure if I would have given them the Vezin at this point. I might want to switch off if I were them. If I were them, I would be yelling, hey, switch off. Like, I'm going to die pretty soon here. As they already utilize that syringe here. And again, a very, very slow start from the VALOR players. I'm not sure if they just played damn lot slower on the attack.
They're having a real tough time working past Mac and Banana Man holding down this hallway. They've got Scare Me on the short angle too, and yeah, another goes down. The Marui gonna try and come to fruition at a long angle. Wound actually finally catches a kill. And they are gonna commit out. The pistol connects onto the headshot of Jims, and it's up to Wound, who does swing out for another kill. And Marui is still into the hands of Ice Beast, so the rifles are still in the hands of VALOR, but they have to push eventually. Wound goes down. The swing up from Crimson only catches one. The trades back and for us leave us into a 1v1 with Banana Man low on HP. Ice Beast doesn't find the swing out, doesn't find the kill, swaps in for the Marui and the 1v1. Banana Man might have a chance to grab a rifle, might catch Ice Beast off guard, but no. It's VALOR with 2 points on the board, but just barely.
Dare I say that was a bad gamble, right? They'd come in with 2 full buys, lost one of them, right? They can't bring 2 guns with 1 player here. Big gamble there by the VALOR players. Doesn't work out quite in their favor. They do win out the round, but I think it was too heavy of a gamble. Technically, I would consider an economy loss, but still a win in terms of morale here.
Right,
so
right.
we'll see how they do the upcoming round here, but they will be looks like they will be playing without 1 full buy because of that buy in the previous round.
Yeah, Crimson went pretty big last round, so they had very little cash, and unless they found a few kills, then that's round 2. They are in this position they're in now. Not enough to buy a rifle, and nobody had enough to buy 2. Actually, Ice Beast did. They carried a rifle through and they bought 1. That's how they're able to get here. But yeah, Crimson will be the utility guy. They'll buy attachments. They'll buy smokes, grenades, and pass them around to the team. And so VALOR will be pretty heavily equipped again going into this round, and again outgunning their opponents.
That they will here. I mean, VALOR, we'll have to see if they can, again, win this one out. A lot of big gambles, but did pay off here. It looks like a lot of aggressive defense here. The 1-2-3 extended roamers on the Ritual side. They have to play this very, very well. If they don't play this right, VALOR, we've seen them have very aggressive pushes. They could push side pretty soon here and take over A side relatively soon as they don't play this one right. I don't think they're aware, though, that there's 3 roamers.
Yeah. Weak defense, but big flank power. And you can see the ping coming over to the hallway to be aware. The drone definitely going to have to assess the situation, and it might not go around this back corner. And so it's not going to find Banana Man or Mac right now. It's not going to find Patrick tucked in. And the trio is just waiting for the wall to be opened.
Yeah, this is going to be perfect timing potentially from the Ritual players. We have seen them do this sort of coordination before here, but it's got to be played right. Mac goes in for the swing here, gets picked off by Woon. And that is going to be a great start to end that one down. Smoke being sent out there to really prevent any deep shots coming in here. It's going to be now a 2v5 hold here. As the players are going to be coming in pretty soon here. It looks like the EMP plan might be coming out. Nope, never mind. Crimson decides to peel off here as Care and TD really holding down the side by themselves. But that's a beautiful rotate now as 4 players back on A side here. And the roamers have pulled out. And I got to say, that was a genius rotation there.
Yeah, it was a really good call to get out of that flank position and reinforce the site, which is definitely getting pushed. Jekyll finds another kill. And because this flank is dropped off, look at how confident VALOR is on their own rotation. Flying over to B, right into Patrick's line of sight. The swing for the double. Jekyll looks for 3, and they find it. What a triple.
Oh my goodness. I mean, we've seen Jekyll time
from the hip
again, I think, in this series against Ritual play so well. We've seen 2, 3, 4, almost an ace there, but 2, 3, 4 Ks coming out there from Jekyll. Talk about beauty, right? When you're seeing great picks coming out here from VALOR finally. And you know, I called out such a beautiful rotation there from the Ritual players to come back to site. But talk about a beautiful rotation coming out there from the VALOR players. Probably unexpected by the Ritual players. They thought they were totally going to be pushing that A site there. Didn't come to fruition though. As I love seeing those kind of switch ups. If you know that a team is holed in on a site, sometimes you're better off going in for the switch up, surprising the team, and then being able to win out that round.
I don't know what this style is, Martini. Holding the gun down by the hip, does it increase your run speed but keep your gun up, so then when you pull the trigger, you're essentially moving faster? Because that looked like hit-fire shots for me, from my perspective,
you're better
with Jekyll.
run out, right? Because you're able to run at higher speeds. You can run out better and swing on like a corner faster, technically. And most people, they tend to crouch, right? So you're actually shooting at hip height, which is probably likely to get them with a headshot. But anyways, the shot, that is my assumption, right? I can probably ask these players to know better, but I think that's what they would be doing that for. Better runouts, better swings, and faster swings on top of that.
I don't think I've ever. I mean, I just don't think I've ever seen a player swing with the hip firing like that. And yeah, they're definitely faster on the swing, but those are some big connections from Jekyll to find from the hip. Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah. Yep. That's what I was gonna say. This is definitely something that Jekyll has put a lot of time into honing in. And there's another double, barreling forward for what almost was 3, but just 2. And VALOR in command again.
Watching it now, you got me thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. You're right. Like,
what's going on there? I've never seen that.
Yeah. It's almost I used to call it like that Doom. You know that old game Doom, right? Like that Doom shooting, that Doom walking, right? Because you're walking, it's hip fired in the game. And it's kind of like that, but obviously the game's very different. It has like a cursor and everything. It's very, very, very different. Considering this is also VR on top of that. But I guess Doom walking, if you know what you're doing, where to aim, you'll be running out faster, approaching people at a speed faster than they're expecting, because they're used to a very specific time, right? Where people run out a very specific amount of time and speed. Because that's all they play against people that are probably going to be aiming down a sight all the time, right? So they're used to swings happening a very common way there. I don't know. I mean, we've seen this from VALOR, aggressive plays. It would make sense that they would develop a aiming style that would actually be better with that.
I truly have never seen multi-kills come through shooting like that. So that is definitely a something new from my spectating perspective. I don't think I'm crazy. I don't think I've seen this before. And it's a really creative way of getting aggressive with those rifles. And man, there's a lot that they're throwing on top of it too. Jekyll's also crouching. They're moving incredibly. It's just the pace there is something very well practiced, to say the least. As we do get in to another push, round 5, VALOR dominating the space, barreling into B. Another kill ahead as the 5v4 comes through, and B side is all theirs.
Where is that EMP? This has happened time and time again. And Crimson gets knocked out by Patrick there due to that timing there. Jekyll goes for the swing again with that weird hip fire thing. Jim's getting to pick off in the end. Wound gets to pick off. Now come down to just 1v2. And this is, again, the one big problem I have there. Wound pick off there. Now just in a 1v1 against TD here. They got to get this push right. They do. Wow. Wound goes for the swing, and that's a beautiful swing there. But I don't know. A push almost gone wrong.
Yeah.
A push almost gone wrong, dare I say. I know. I'm being a little too critical for VALOR. But they got a little lucky, I think, there, to be honest.
Yeah, they barreled into sight, and I think that the Ritual defense was kind of allowing for that. They wanted them to come into that space where they could then encircle around them, and that's what it really felt like. It felt like VALOR was getting choked because they stayed too long inside that objective without planting. You don't want to stick around in an objective space. You want to plant and back out to defend the EMP. And yeah, to your end, that was definitely a bit slow. I don't even think we saw an EMP go down that round. So fortunate that they did find the kills. And, well, they're in a good spot now, Martini. 5-0 on map 3. The first half almost flawless.
You know, someone in the chat saying that's all Jekyll does now is hip fire. And it's cool seeing this sort of stuff. The game's still evolving, right? Because that's now potentially a second aiming style to be considered for breachers, because it's a more aggressive one. Probably not going to be as accurate, especially in that mid-range area. But when you're talking about shooting people within 0 to 5 meters, it's probably potentially a better usage of the aiming because you can train for that and be able to make those shots and be faster.
Pretty fun, pretty cool. VALOR doing good here as Ritual need to lock in on their defensive half. They want at least a point on the board to prevent what could be a 7-0 sweep in map 3.
Oh, I didn't even see the point line. It's 5-0 right now, and this is definitely the VALOR I expected. Looks like we have Ice Beast and Jackal coming here on the side here, getting ready for this push and setting side up for the EMP plant pretty soon here.
Ooh, trip mines.
So trip mine knocking out TD there, but Wound having their utility frag themselves, and that's gonna be a great trade there.
Get rid of the audio transmitter. Like it's giving away their position when they go for the EMP plant. They haven't shot it out yet, though, and it keeps giving information. An incendiary comes around, and that'll buy about 10-15 seconds for the Ritual squad. But there's still a minute on the clock, so there's plenty of time for VALOR to work with.
Yeah, VALOR did a beautiful utility bait there, now forcing them to have to go for the swing here. TD goes for the swing, gets knocked out by Crimson, though, with the hip fire there. Oh my goodness. Now only 2 players left. Banana Man gets the pick off, gets the 2K in the end there. Now leaving, never mind, 3K in the end there. Can he go for the 4K here as they go and try to get Wound, but Wound now forced to take this 1v2. But the EMP is planted.
They're going to stick it. Banana Man. Oh, no, they back off of it. The swing out, and oh, chaos. Wound finds one. Now's where the second is. And the headshot. What a double kill from Wound.
Oh, my God.
Insane clutches today, Martini. This is an awesome series to tune into.
You know, this is VALOR, I think, saying, hey, y'all did have a good map too, but we're still VALOR. that's what this is feeling like, right? They definitely been doing a really good job here. VALOR really holding down the fort here, but this is pistol round. If anyone's gonna be able to come back and fight this till the very end, Ritual's gonna be having to do it now, but also not just now, for the next 6 rounds. If they can force this into an OT, but I mean 6-0 is just a huge hill to be climbing here. And I always say this, like, the fact that a team can win 6-0 showcases that they were just dominant and, you know, so dominant in that first half here, because usually there's always one round. There's always one round that the enemy team can secure. And that's why you see 5-1 so commonly, even in a dominating half here. But VALOR 6-0, man. This might be it. This might be the match point at this point.
Could be. We are set to at series point, no less, for our final map of this best of 3. VALOR trying to make quick work of Dam. But side swap could be everything, as Ritual attack now. And, well, they got to win 6 in a row.
6 in a row, definitely a big hill to be overtaken, but not impossible. But against VALOR right now, I'd be a little bit more, I don't know if I would be betting against him here. Breach coming out here. Banana Man able to knock down Jekyll in the end there, leaving only 4 alive now on the defending side, on this A side and B side. As they are coming out, Banana Man gets another one here as the Frost Incendiary coming out here. Damn it. But Max sticks it as they creep around the corner, sticks it. Ice Beast gets the pick off, and this is going to be a hard retake, though, for this 3v4.
A lot of low HP bars across the Ritual team. They got to be careful about swinging too hard. Coordination is going to be needed here as Ice Beast goes down, the first to fall. Jim swings, looking for more. Can't find what they're looking for on the multi-kill. Wounds tucked into the corner, being suppressed by Mac, and they'll swing out to their death as well. Finally, a point on the board for Ritual, and it's the first of 5 that they'll need in a row.
6-1, definitely still an uphill battle, but probably feeling a little bit better, I think, on the Ritual side here. But VALOR probably still feeling pretty good here. I'm not gonna lie. But again, this is still match point for the next 5 rounds for the Ritual players. That's why I think we're just gonna be seeing these big buys. Look at this round; it's such a big gamble from the Ritual players, but you know, to them it doesn't matter. This round you gamble and you win, or you lose anyways, and it's series over at that point for them. So we're gonna be seeing a full. At least some buys here, not full buy, but 1 buy, a couple half buys here, and riskier buys too. All rails coming out in form here, a couple SMGs. We're not gonna be seeing that on the VALOR side. I'm gonna be honest, I'm surprised they're going in for SMG buys. If I were them, I would just consider why not bank for the upcoming 3rd round.
Yeah, you do have the option of playing it a little bit safer, but interesting. Yeah. We'll see how these buys work out. Round 8 kicking off. If you're just tuning in, we appreciate you, but you've missed a lot of the action so far. It's okay. There's plenty of games that get broadcast on the VRML network. across multiple leagues. So if you do want to catch all the VR esports action, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Big swing in from Patrick for a double. Can't make it 3, though.
Jim's able to get that refrag at the end here, evening up the player count here. 3-3 for the VALOR and Ritual players here. This is going to be a hard take for them on this point, but not an impossible one. They do have to retake the EMP first before they even consider sticking a plant on A side anytime soon here. So it looks like we're going to be seeing a lot of good defensive holds at this point from the VALOR players, as a lot of time is going to be burned for them to have to retake that EMP, because they probably imagine that someone's going to be on that EMP. So we're going to be seeing a very careful Ritual, because I've seen them play that. So a lot of time burning at this point.
I wonder if the VALOR squad knows the EMP's down over there, because they're definitely not on it. They're still tucked in at A site. And if anything, rotating over to B to their death. 2 go down. It's up to Jekyll alone. Now pushing right into Banana Man. And a quick 2 points for Ritual. 3 left alive, carrying through a couple of rifles and some health syringes. They are in good shape. VALOR, on the other hand, after a hefty investment and 2 losses in a row, find themselves stuck again. Back to SMGs, and Ritual just getting their foot into the door and economically setting themselves up for success for really the rest of this half.
I mean, yeah, definitely in good form here. 1, 2, 3, almost 4.5 eyes there. VALOR not looking quite up to shape here, as they are going to be on that back, on the back heel themselves here. Again, uphill battle, 4 rounds, but, I keep saying that round after round, but the closer Ritual gets, the more I'm confident we might be seeing an OT potentially.
I know, right?
But again, that is between 4 rounds and then, so we'll have to see if that does come up eventually here, as VALOR having to figure out how do they defend against this Ritual attack here. We've seen Ritual pull off some weird off-meta, kind of fast pushes. We saw that on Arctic, for example. I'm wondering if they had developed something for that on Dam here.
Have to see. It just takes one. That's the real challenge for Ritual here, is that VALOR just need to find rhythm on one of these 6 rounds, and they've got themselves the series.
For sure here. Looks like VALOR playing a little aggressive, though, on their defense themselves. 1, 2, 3 kind of extended defenders there. But at TD knocking out Wound there, that's going to be a great pick for that round, as they now will be coming in slowly and trying to see if they can snuff out Ice Beast. And Patrick picking up Crimson there in the end, too.
Ooh, and they saw Ice Beast there, so the pinch is coming in, and there's that hit fire coming in from, this time, the other side, as TD connects. Jim's going to push out, trying to get rid of Patrick, but the Incendiary slows them down. Getting reinforced on the backside by Jekyll, who gets pushed up by Scare Me. And somehow we find ourselves into a 1v1.
I don't know even what happened there. Like, too much killing on both sides there, on 2 different sides of the map, by the way. It wasn't all in one area here. Scare Me goes in for the plant there, does go for the bait out. Unfortunately, they do get snuffed out. They go for the double tap at this point, trying to force Jims to play it out, but the EMP is planted officially.
Nice.
And, oh, they knocked down Jims! And that almost would have been a great clutch for themselves here, but clutch up for the Ritual players here. And like I said before, it's still an uphill battle, but the closer we get, the more it's looking like this momentum might carry them to potential OT.
It seriously is. This is a crazy bit of back and forth that we've tuned into on Wednesday. And a shout out to everyone stopping by and hanging out. Please do hit the thumbs up on the stream and subscribe to the channel. This is the VRML Network, where we'll be broadcasting all kinds of VR esports action live to your doorstep all year long. We've got a lot planned ahead of us, including, of course, VRML Con, our 3rd live in-person event with $20,000 in cash on the line, split across 4 events for a total of 5 tournaments being held from Friday to Sunday. It's a lot to look forward to. It's all going to be broadcast on this channel, but also you can get tickets to tune in live and go check it out at Arizona State University at the Media Immersive Experience Center, the Mix Center. It's not at Denver, Colorado this year, which is where it has been in the past, and the ticket gets you entry into all 3 days. So pretty good deal. The early bird special still live for a 10% discount, and we're happy to see already a bunch of folks excited for VRMLCon and picking up their tickets.
Do they have a senior citizen discount for those that are 28 plus? That includes
For who? Old Gravy?
Yeah, no. It's funny. They call Old Gravy an uncle, but he's younger than me. So
I know, right?
I like my grandpa at this point. But hey, it doesn't matter here. Anyways,
You're in the dirt,
Ritual.
Martini. You're a zombie.
I'm getting up there. But oh, Jekyll starting off a great pick there. Trying to go for the second. Gets the 2K in the end. Gets knocked out by Banana Man. As I talk about my age here. So Valor's still up a player 4 and 3 here. So this is going to be, again, a solid defense. This might be their round winning point if they can play their cards right.
First time they've had a player advantage in a while, to say the least, and so they got to hold on to that. In the meantime, Ritual struggling to get through the door. Sometimes they see some static emitters and some defense lined up to prevent them from working through. Good nade. Big damage. And a kill from Scare Me.
Oh, man, that is going to be a great pick there. Mac trying to stick the plan here. Jim's getting a lot of chip damage. Scare Me gets another one on that corner, and they are holding it down at that death zone here. As Banana Man holds down Jim themselves here. Can the Mac get the plant on the EMP at this point? I don't think they've gotten any ticks on that at all, but Jim's, again, trying to prevent that from happening while wound on themselves on the back end here.
Yeah, not working out too well right now. This is a great push coming in from Ritual. They've got a really good control of the space. No easy way for this to go as Jims continues to harass. 40 seconds left. The duo's going to have to commit to a hard swing, and there's one going down. Mac's going to try and stick it again. Scare Me holding, Banana Man holding. They're going to allow the plant to come through, and not sure what Wound's plan is. 12 and 5 on the half. Now they got to clutch the 1v3.
You know, I love that EMP plant spot.
Oh,
Banana Man knocked
wow.
down. That EMP plant spot, honestly, underrated.
Really nice.
I know most people tend to like play it a little bit closer to the bomb site up at this point, but I like that because you can kind of still reach around the corner. It prevents a lot of the Molotovs from reaching you, because I know a lot of players tend to throw the Molotov a little closer to the bomb site there, which I think, you know, during one of the previous rounds, we'd seen that from Ritual, right? They played it off to that corner. It worked out well because if they had planted it like normal, like other teams do, they would have been killed by a Molotov. But
Yeah.
that plant side allows them to kind of get that little corner peek and work things out for themselves. And again, still an uphill battle, but that uphill battle has become 6 rounds to now 2 here. This potential equalizer in the upcoming 2 rounds, as I almost feel like they're running away with this win here. We might see Ritual, honestly, win out the whole series. If they play their cards right, win the next 2 rounds, go for OT, we might be seeing a Ritual win here, which would be a crazy upset at this point.
Yeah, I think
not of people voting for Valor.
if they win the next 2 rounds, they'll be up on score as well. So when we go to overtime, they get to pick the side that they'll be on, which is a pretty sizable advantage when it, or you know, at least a good comfort choice if you are going to be going in to that OT, which is where we're headed, quite frankly, because Valor not fully equipped in this round, just going to try and do what they can with what they have, and we haven't seen that come out with a ton of success from the Valor squad so far today.
Yeah, they played so well on the attacking half themselves, but they've been struggling to really hold down this defense. We might have been it might be a side difference at this point, right? It looks like both teams getting 6-0s potentially on their own attacking halves, which is going to be very interesting to kind of watch and showcase here. But again, a very aggressive defense coming out from the Valor players. Jim is playing very deep, and Crimson looks like they were going to play that roaming role, but they're now coming back to site here to play with their teams.
Nice swing. Doesn't net Crimson much, though. Good headshot connecting in, and the push coming through here. Half health across the board for a couple of Valor defenders, and Jekyll is just trying to do their best with what they got on the corner. We've seen some big clutches coming in from these Valor players, and maybe those clutches have been what they've been relying on to get these wins. We'll have to see if some of the main shooters can step up, if Jims can spring a trap here. Nice flash, and they do try and push out blind, but a really good bit of utility there enables a safe and methodical entry from Ritual.
And this is kind of the risk reward we see a lot, right? When you play these deep roamers, you might be able to get a pick or 2, but if it doesn't pan out like that, which hasn't happened here, you're now facing a 3-5 as the whole team's going to be attacking you. And it looks like that is going to be exactly what's happening. Patrick goes in for this one, gets the 2K in the end there, and it looks like Jekyll shutting them down, almost goes in for another pick, but not enough as Banana Man shuts them down. And again, we're on potential, I guess, overtime point.
Yeah, we really are.
Yeah. You know, 6 rounds ago, I thought this was a very uphill battle, but now it's looking like I just need to walk over a little curb at this point.
Whew. What a series as we do get to the final point of map number 3. If you are just tuning in, 7-4 map 1, 7-3 map 2, and now a near tie, 6-5 map 3. I mean, VALOR being tested, Martini, and Ritual trying to stay undefeated. When we look at that matchup history, they're 6-0 on the season. As a new squad, it's incredibly impressive. For them to now beat, or potentially beat, VALOR, which I really think is maybe one of their biggest tests so far this season, sets them up to be a team to keep an eye on, to say the least, going into the back half of Season 4.
Yeah, like, I'm very curious. If they win this one out, who are they going to play next week? It's got to be, a crazy matchup like Acer, maybe even the IBNA, or even F3 they're playing, pretty solid games this week. Because Ritual's in form. So much in form right now. Like, VALOR, I talked about how well they're performing, but if they're performing well and Ritual's still beating them out, Ritual's playing that much better than them, right?
Full buy round for both sides, obviously, as VALOR have ecoed for this particular round. So we do see utility, rifles, everything that they should want coming out here. As that drone goes down quick from Jekyll, we'll see what this offense looks like.
Yeah, it looks like they are taking their time to really set up on this side here, coming out from the Ritual players. VALOR playing no aggressive defense now, just having everyone holding side at this point, which is honestly the play I would have done for this at this point. We've seen them just kind of fail on some of those roaming plays and lose a lot of value there, unfortunately here. But it looks like they are getting set up for this A push pretty soon here, as 4 of the VALOR players are going to be holding down sight for this attack at this point. It's going to be coming finally a pretty even matchup and head-to-head, so I'm curious to see who does win this one out.
Push coming in. Everyone's stacked up on the attack here to the outside of A, but the defense equally waiting. Utility getting tossed back and forth, and so far nothing really connecting. Some bit chip damage done, and finally Jekyll connecting with 1, swinging for 2. Can't get any more than that as Mac goes to half health, and a kill advantage to VALOR, 4v3.
Yeah, that's going to be a great pick. Finally making things a little bit easier, I think, on the rest of their VALOR teammates here. Crimson trying to get a lot of chip damage on the corner there. Mac taking so much in hand. And that is a great incendiary, really shutting out the 2 sides of the Ritual players at this point. 40 seconds left in the round. Time's coming down.
Yeah.
You got to make a movement pretty soon here. It's either commit to this side or rotate. This is the time to make that decision at this point.
Oh, that was the foam that got tossed over. A nice flash out the corner, but it blinds one of their own. The push comes in and a defensive smoke. Crimson finds the kill through 1. Ice Beast another, and down goes Ritual. There's no overtime here, Martini. We've got ourselves a clean winner in map 3 as VALOR take the series, but we go the distance.
I was so ready for an overtime. I talked so much about this uphill battle that Ritual is facing. I was like, they deserve an overtime at this point. Getting 5 wins back to back. I was just like, they can totally do it at this point. So I'm a little let down here, but I mean, things just didn't work out for them in that last push there. VALOR playing finally a lot more conservative on their defense, and that's exactly what they needed to do to hold out against this Ritual attack.
Quick shout out to everyone tuning in. Go check out vrmasterleague.com/VRMLCon, where you can get tickets to our 3rd live in-person event with over $20,000 on the line and 3 days of esport action. You're not going to want to miss out on what is going to be the largest VR esports community meetup I think that we've ever done at least. So get involved now. Early bird sale is on, so 10% off if you get your tickets now. And we look forward to seeing you. Me, Martini, a bunch of the casters are going to be there, so if you do want to meet up with us, it's going to be a great opportunity, but obviously a great chance to meet with your friends and compete for some cold hard cash. $5K on the line for the Breachers tournament specifically. So definitely something to look into if you're interested in attending and heading over to Arizona State University at the Media Immersive Experience Center, the Knicks Center, July 25th to the 27th. Shout out to all the sponsors, Triangle Factory supporting the VRML, ProTube, and everyone tuning in. Hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button. A lot more to come here on the VRML network. We're really just getting started. But that's it for us here today, so we are definitely done. We're not just getting started. My name is Ben Nightfire with 2 E's, my co-caster Martini. We'll see you all at the con and probably later this week. So until then, stay classy. VRML is brought to you by Helga, the esports manager, Triangle Factory. Thanks for watching VRML.